Okay. Again, if there's any questions or anything, just interrupt me. I don't have a real chance to look at chat while I'm teaching my lesson. So if you do want to get my attention, just turn on your mic and just say, hey, Mr. Place, question, anything like that, even during my demo. Okay, so let's get into it. As I said, there's about a 20-minute demo right now. And then after that demo, you guys will have the entire class to go to work and make sure that Premiere Pro is on your computer. Okay, so we are going to start animation today. We talked about it yesterday, and that was using effect controls. Yesterday, meaning 2 days ago. Effect controls. So that offers a lot of power in order to animate text, pictures, or video. And in this assignment that we're going to work on is entirely text. I'm sorry, entirely images. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into it. I am going to, Rowan, here's your chance to shine. I'm going to turn on my desktop right here. Let me know if you can see Premiere Pro.
I can.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to start a new project here, and I'm going to hit new project, and it's important that I would suggest that you guys made a master folder on your computer, whether you have a PC or a Mac. Make it on your desktop or wherever you feel comfortable putting it. A master folder, it doesn't have to be called your first and last name like in this class. It can be just called video production, but get in the habit of putting things in the right place. Okay, so today, if you can make a master folder, I already have one, so I'm going to browse to it. I'll show you how that's done. Just a quick review. I'm going to go to my desktop, Mr. Place. That's me right here. That's my master folder, VP20s, and I'm going to go into video and effect controls. That's the name of this project. I also have a subfolder in here called second day practice. So I'm going to go into that, and I'm going to choose that. That's going to be where I store all my pictures and all my auto saves and everything will go in there. Second thing I want to do is I want to change untitled. I want to change that to my name. So that's Mr. Place, VP20s, S1, and that's 2021. And it's called Effect Controls. So if you missed last class, we're talking about effect controls. If not, it's a little bit of a review, but again, pay attention because I am going to be, oh, I don't want to, yeah, I'll overwrite this, that's fine. Let me put effect controls 2, just in case. There. Rowan, you can see my user interface right here.
Nothing's popping up, but I can see it.
Okay, yeah, so it's all blank, which is good. So I have nothing in the bin here. I have no media. And just make sure, like yesterday, I was on effects here with my last class, which was grade 12 and that. Make sure we go to editing. So you guys are in editing mode. Okay, when we start. So I've got nothing here in my project. So what I want to do is I want to bring in some pictures that I took and pictures that I downloaded from the internet. So let me go get those. They're in my master folder on my desktop. I'll just navigate to those, VP20s, effect controls, second day practice. I'm going to bring in some pictures right now, okay? So just, as I said, pictures I downloaded. Okay, let me just bring in the ones that I need. Don't need all of them, but I'll bring them in. Okay, import. So you can see in the bin right here, I have a whole bunch of pictures. I don't know, I've got about 10 pictures in there. That's all I'm going to use as images today. Now, timeout. I got to go and let somebody in the lobby. No worries. There we go. Morning, Sheldon. We're just doing a little demo on Premiere Pro. I just opened up Premiere Pro here and I brought in a whole bunch of pictures, so you didn't really miss a lot. So the pictures I brought, I've taken some of them myself and some of them I got from the internet. Okay. If you notice, you look around at some of these pictures and you look and you go, hey, wait, that's a square. This one's really widescreen and this one more looks like what we do in the class where it's almost like widescreen. I just want to show you something, and this is more of a little tip. Remember, some of you guys got caught with this last, well, not last semester, but during the time you guys were here. The very first media that you bring into the timeline, when you drop something in here, it will establish two things. It will establish the aspect ratio and the resolution. So let me bring in number 5 JPEG, which I got from the internet. And if you look, it's bounded by it's basically a square. Okay, so when I bring this into the timeline, watch what happens up here. So That's not a good thing to do, to bring in something that's not 1920 by 1080, because then if we bring in a picture, let me bring in this one right here. Look at that. Okay, so this picture is actually really good resolution. It's not good. So be careful. The very first time, I'm going to hit Command Z just to get rid of this box here to take me back to where it's gray. Good. So I just want to show you a tip on how to make your project 1920 by 1080. Now, usually we have some video that we've taken, and remember when we use our Canon cameras that will actually do that for us, right? We bring in the clip of the video that we took on the Canons, and by default it's 1920 by 1080. Okay, that's resolution, and it's aspect ratio. Okay, so what I want to do is, this is a little bit of a review. This is just a little tip that I do, is I go onto this new item, I click it. Rowan, can you verify that you can see the word sequence, offline file, all these here? Can you see the?
Yep, I can see that.
Okay, good. Because I think the very first day we're having some trouble with that showing up, but now it does. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on new item, color matte. So when I do that, the one that I just brought in was actually, it kept those properties on the video settings and it's 225 width pixels and 225 height. So that's a square, right? We don't want that. Okay, you guys won't have to change this. The only reason this has changed is because I brought in that picture of that person there and it was a square. By default, it's going to be 1920 by 1080. But if it isn't 1920 by 1080, you're going to have to change it to 1920 1080. Okay, but usually it'll be like this. So this is a color matte. By default, it's always on black when we first start. But again, I showed you last time we could change it, okay, to other colors and things like that. I'm going to leave it on black. Okay, you can move this around whatever color you want. But I'm going to pull this up here as far as I can so that my RGB, that's red, green, and blue, are all zeros. Just to let you know, when you move this around, this is not part of the demo, but watch how they change. Lots of reds right here, 156, a little bit of green, a little bit of blue. When you turn it to white, you go all the way up to 255 on each of them. So we're going to go to 000, okay, and that is going to give us a black matte. Okay, we can call it anything we want. I'm only going to have one, so I'll just call it color matte. Watch what happens right here. So here's what we're familiar with. We're looking at 1920 by 1080. When we drop this in here, look at this. Perfect. So if you ever bring in a picture, you better make sure it's 1920 by 1080 to begin with, because if it isn't, it's going to declare and establish what your resolution to aspect ratio is. Now, I don't need this anymore because if I delete it, it still keeps my box here. I've got a bounding box here. So I'm pretty happy in the program monitor. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to grab this picture right here. I'm going to drop it in my timeline. Let's move this up. Let's show the picture here. By default, it brings it in for 5 seconds. So each picture you bring in Premiere Pro, I mean, you can change that setting, but if you don't change it, it's going to be 5 seconds. Can someone turn on their mic and tell me why, and this is a review, why over here in my bin, I see 3 people, and here I zoomed in on this person right here. Anybody know why?
It's not 20 or by 1080 or whatever the measurements are.
Is it better than that or is it worse?
It is larger.
It is, that's right. So it's in the 3000s. This was taken on a DSLR camera, so it's a professional camera, and it takes really, really good quality pictures. So this isn't working. And the way that I taught you guys at the beginning of the course is to change this, is we can bring down our fit to 10% so we can see around it. And then when we double click on it, we can see our resizing handles right here, and we can change that, right? So we can change that and go back to fit. You guys didn't downscale. Well, some of you did, but when we brought the Castle in from the internet on our Castle second day practice, usually you had to upscale it. You had to make it bigger. Okay, we don't want to do it this way. We don't want to do the fit. I want you guys to get in the habit. I'm going to hit Control Z until it goes back to where it was. I want you guys to get into the habit of using the effect controls. Okay, so what happens is when you click on your image, and there's only one image that's selected, the effect control should pop open right here, but what you have to do is make sure that you select effect controls up here, turn that on. And again, you've got position, scale, you got rotation, all these other things. You got opacity. Okay, you can turn it to 0, crank it up to 100, or see what it's doing there. But I'm not going to change the opacity. I'm just going to leave it. What I want to change is the scale. So let's go from 100 down. Okay, and let's change the position. Okay, just to kind of make it a little bit more pleasing. Okay, that's pretty good. Although there's, you know, I'm a perfectionist and I see a little bit more space on this side. So yeah, I'd probably do there. So get in the habit of using your effect controls to change the position of the scale, because it will offer you a lot more power. Say if something needs to be rotated a little bit, time out. I have to let someone in the lobby. Morning, Erica. Mr. Place here. We're just doing a little demo on, you didn't miss much, but on effect controls like we did last time. And there will be an assignment attached to this at the end of this demo. So what I did is I brought in a picture and I've used the effect controls over here to scale it. Make sure that you don't have any black pixels. So it has to be even there. You can see them on the side. They have to be so that they actually fit in there nicely. So if I hit spacebar, watch my scrubber. Pretty boring, right? Nothing's happening. We want to animate this picture. Okay. So let me close this down. And I'm going to show you an exemplar of a project that's already been done. So just get the flavor of what that looks like. Let me just find it really quick. This was Royce in grade 11 who did this project. Rowan, can you see this? It says Royce right here.
I can, yeah.
Okay, so sit back. I'm going to play. This is the outcome. This is an exemplar of a finished project. Okay, and then I'll go back and I'll talk about the project a little bit more. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. That's a completed project. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our images that we have and we're going to animate them. We're going to keyframe them. So the way that we do this, quick review, is we're going to bring our scrubber right to the beginning, the first keyframe that we're going to add. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to change the position and scale. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the toggle animation, these stopwatches. You remember doing this in After Effects for Moon Across the Sky. They call it the time vary stopwatch. It's also called the toggle animation when you mouse over it. Okay, so at the beginning of this picture, it's going to start out like this. And I don't know if you can see, but there are two keyframes that are added here. Okay, the reason why they're kind of tucked underneath right here is because they're on the very, very first pixel. Sorry, the very, very first frame. Not pixel. So what I want to do is grab my scrubber and go maybe 3/4 of the way through, maybe about 80%, 75% over here. And I'm going to change the position and the scale. So first of all, scale. I'm just going to zoom in just a bit. Just a very tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be very subtle. The position right here, if I wanted to, I could change that too. And I'm just going to center this a little bit more, and I'm going to bring down just so there's a little bit more headroom. Okay, I'm happy with that. So if you look, you got two keyframes starting here, and it ends off right here, the ones I just added. So what is this going to look like? Well, it's going to be a very subtle digital zoom. We're going to zoom in. So it adds a little bit more life to our static pictures that we bring in. Okay, A couple of things about these keyframes. They're editable, which means I can bring them closer in the clip. So if they're closer, it's going to be faster, right? So if I go click, so that's more of a faster zoom. If we want to slow it down, we can grab these keyframes and move them right to the end. It just means that, watch this scrubber. It's going to be moving right till it hits this point, and then it's going to stop. Very subtle. Okay. I also want to show you two things. Well, these keyframes right here, I want to show you something really important. This will make your zooms and your animation a little bit more professional looking. I'm going to select these first two. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on them. I'm going to go temporal interpolation. Okay, that's a right click, by the way. And all you do is you go down here to ease out. So we're going to ease it out. I'm going to grab these ones right here, select those, same thing. I'm going to ease them in. Can someone turn on their mic and tell me what you think that's going to do to this particular project here, or sorry, clip? Anybody? Okay, here's what it's going to do. It's going to, instead of going at a uniform rate across like you first saw, what it's going to do, it's going to start off really slow. It's easing out. It's going to speed up, and then it's going to slow down right here. So watch that effect that I did right there. So it's very slow, speeds up a little bit, and then slows down. So that's really important that that you do that with some of your videos and your zooms, just so it looks a little bit more professional looking. It's a lot better pleasing to whoever's looking at these zooms. Okay. The next picture that I'm going to bring in will be this little pig right here. Okay, so I bring in the pig, cute little pig. What is wrong with this picture? What is wrong with the media that I brought in? Anybody?
Too small.
Too small, right? So this quality of this picture is horrible. Do not use small things that you have to upscale that much. So that's too much. If you look at your constraints here of your aspect ratio and your resolution, this is way too small. So if we do click on it right here, if we do click on it and we want to scale it up, you can tell right now it's not very nice. It's very pixelated. It's not usable for video production. Okay, maybe someone's PowerPoint, things like that, but in video production, we want to use really good quality video. So when you do download some pictures from Google, make sure you select size and make sure it's large. Okay, and if you selected a picture of a pig and you wanted to put 1920 by 1080 after that in the search bar, you're going to get just pictures that fit exactly to the pixel, as you guys know. So I'm going to get rid of this. Let's bring in a picture right here. Okay, so here we go, a son and his mom here together. What I want to do is, this is more usable. It's a little bit bigger. We're going to upscale it. Again, we could do it this way like we used to, like I taught you to, but I'd like you to watch what happens when I click on the picture right here. Boom, effect controls show up. Okay, so I can scale it up and I can change it just a little bit. I'm going to center it, bring it down. We'll break the rule of thirds and we'll just put it right there in the middle. Okay, so when I hit play, nothing happens. So, you know what, this particular one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in a little closer. I'm going to zoom in. So let me just change this a little bit. I'm going to start here. There we go. And I'm going to zoom out. Not happy with this centering right here. There we go. So instead of zooming in, I'm going to turn on my position and scale right here for my toggle animation. I'm at the beginning. I grab my scrubber, bring it to about 75%, 80% of the clip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it back a little bit, just a bit. Okay, very subtle. You know, the more that you make that number smaller, the more of the zoom. It won't look very nice. It'll be too fast. Okay, so sometimes you want a fast zoom, but in this case, we want a cinematic look. Again, I'm just going to put this nicely centered right here. Okay, so this is what this effect looks like. It's opposite, right? It's zooming out a little bit. And again, a more pleasing effect is to select these keyframes. And let's go ease out. And let's go ease in. Okay, so it starts off nice and slow, speeds up, and then nice and slow at the stop. Good, I like that. So I'm not going to continue this. I'm not going to like do 7 pictures like you guys are and bring in different pictures and do the whole thing. You guys get the idea. of this. I am screen capturing this, so I will put this on if you forget how to do anything. This will be on Edsby. What I'd like you to do is I'm going to put on another video right now, and this is something we're having a little bit of trouble with our server in the division right now, so I had to download this. But this is a place demo, how to download some music from YouTube, and it's not downloading it the traditional way that we do it, and that is through, you know, like an online converter, like when we grab a share of Justin Bieber and we bring it into one of the YT to MP3 converters and we change it. It's not that way. What we're going to use is the YouTube library. Okay, so I'm going to show you a demo, right? That a little video. It's about a minute and a half. And this is part of the project. You're going to download some music from the YouTube library, which is royalty free. Okay, Rowan, you ready to let me know if you can see this royalty free right here?
I can see it.
Okay, so let's start this, have a look at this. This will show you how to download music from the YouTube library. Audio library. Look at that. Oh, has my video been on this whole time? Let me just admit Carmen here. There we go. All right. Welcome back, Carmen. Got booted out somehow, but yeah, we just did a demo on how to grab video, from the YouTube library of audio, so we can download some MP3s. The only thing is you have to, at the beginning of the term, we asked you guys to make a YouTube account. So you have to have a YouTube account in order to go into that YouTube studio and the library to get music. What I really like about it, say if you're doing a horror movie or something, a scary movie, you can go into dark, you can go into dramatic, different moods and genres of music. And the one I think I grabbed was Beach Walk. It was called Inspirational. So the music you just heard was from that library. It's really good when you're doing video on the outside of school, like projects that you're doing, because nothing's going to get flagged for copyright, even though we're not breaking any copyright laws in our school as long as we source everything and we don't make money off the songs before we start up and pay royalties. So that particular, a lot of people use the YouTube library to put in the background of their YouTube videos and that, so that's nicely put in and there's no flags or anything. You don't violate any of the copyright and have to go to copyright school or anything like that. Okay, I'm going to go back to my clip here. Rowan, can you see my screen right now? Can you see these two people right here? Okay, good.
Yes, I can.
So I'm going to tell you what the project is right now, and this is on Edsby. If you kind of stumbled in on Edsby in the last day, you would have saw that the project was already up there because I put it up for my other class too, the AA class. Watch this. I'm just going to read out what the assignment is. So my demo is now finished, and you guys should know that what I just did, you guys are going to replicate. So the assignment is, it's called Animation, the Effects Controls. So the actual project is called Effect Controls. So for the last two classes, we've been looking at animating text, images, and video. So this particular project is going to be just images and like photos that you're going to download from the internet. So number one, ensure you have Adobe Premiere Pro installed on your home computer. You're going to create a master folder on your computer if you haven't done that already, and you're going to create a subfolder in that master folder called Effect Controls. Okay, you're going to download 7 large, and that's really high quality images from Google Images, and you're going to send those to the newly created folder that you made. If you want to, this project is worth 5 marks each, but if you want to go for the bonus mark, there's 2 bonus marks attached to this if you go out with your camera or your phone and you are the producer of those pictures. You actually take those pictures. If you do that, you're going to get 2 extra bonus marks like Royce did. He took a whole bunch of pictures of sunsets and things like that on his phone and then put them into the timeline and then did it that way. So you're not going to lose any marks if you just grab them from the internet, but if you do want to get that extra mark, great, or the extra 2 marks. You're going to import those pictures into Premiere Pro. You're going to utilize the effect controls to animate, that's scale and position, to give your static pictures some life. They're going to look good that way. Okay, spice up your photos by animating them. You're going to use YouTube audio library found in the video below. So on Edsby, I do have that video that you just saw is going to be posted in Edsby. That's a place demo. And you're going to select any song that you want, put it in there, and make sure that you trim the end of the video like I did. Like it's not trim, but fade out. You guys can fade that out so it doesn't abruptly end. Okay, insert that MP3 into your project. You're going to add transitions. So here we go. Effects at the top. You guys remember this now, video transitions. Okay, we've done this before. I'll go to dissolve and I'll go dip to white. Just add some transitions, just drop them between the two, just to give it a nice little look. And remember that these are editable. You can make these smaller, these transitions, so they're faster, or for a more cinematic look, make them a little bit bigger so they kind of fade a little bit longer. Okay, it's up to you, depending on your mood of your video. Anyways, so you're gonna add some transitions. Make sure you put the credits at the end of the timeline, credits, and make sure that you have the name of the YouTube song from the library. Okay, and just put YouTube library for the credits. You're going to export as a H.264, and that's an MP4 container, so it'll say .mp4 when you're finished. And you're going to hand that in to Mr. Place using WeTransfer.com. So if you remember back in December, I showed you guys a couple of videos. If you forget how to do that, it's very simple. When you finish your project, you have an MP4. You're just going to send me the MP4, not the project file. I just want the MP4, the export. And make sure that you send it using WeTransfer. We can't use Edsby to send large videos. So if you forget how to do that, there's also a link underneath in Edsby that tells you how to send large files using WeTransfer. Basically, WeTransfer is you select your file, you send it to Mr. Place. My name's Scott, so it's splace@pembinatrails.ca. And basically, that's all you do. And you send me your MP4, you map to it, hit send, and I get it, and I can give you the marks. That's how you send things in my class. Again, if you forget, it's on Edsby. Okay, so one last thing. If you forget, I'm going to show you very quickly how to export. Remember that you guys need your input and output. So on the beginning of your timeline, I'm going to hit I on the keyboard. Okay, look at all that dead space. Okay, at the end of your song and your credits, add about 5 seconds of black, anything like that, about 5 seconds, anything like that, and hit O. So there's our video right there. So when we export, it's only going to do that and not all that extra black at the end. So we're going to save our project. That's our project file. So when we save it, great. And then what we have to do is export. So export is File, Export, Media. When you guys open up Premiere Pro on your home computer for the first time, it's not going to say H.264. I believe it's going to say AVI. And don't save as an AVI because there's no compression and it's going to be huge, your file size. So save as an H.264. Drop it down, H.264. The other thing that we change, quick review, the output name. It says colormat.mp4. Well, that was the first thing that I brought in, if you remember that color mat that I brought in. So by default, the output name is always the first thing you bring in. We want to change that, of course, to normal naming conventions. So I'm going to go to Desktop, Master Folder, BP20s, Video, Effect Controls. There we go, Effect Controls. And what are we going to call it? Not color mat. You guys know it's going to be your name, VP20s S1 2021, and it's going to be called Effect Controls. That's the name of the project. Save, and the last thing we have to do, I don't want to overwrite the other one I did, so I'm just going to save it as Effect Controls 3. I'm going to save it. The last thing I do is I tell it to export right here. There you go. So this shouldn't take long at all because there's one transition, no audio, and 2 pictures. There it is. So that's my MP4 that I just saved. So let me go back to you guys right here. Oh, good. You can't see me. So here's what's going to happen. You are going to, basically our class is over. If you guys want to open up Premiere Pro, great. You want to do this project on the weekend, or if you don't want to do it on the weekend, that's fine. But you will have to work on it on Monday, and it's due on Tuesday. Again, it's worth 5 marks. It's called Effect Controls. And again, if you want to get the bonus marks, you're going to take the pictures yourself on your phone or camera. Okay? So the rest of the class is going to be for you guys to start working on that, answering any questions that you guys have. Are there any questions right now that you guys have about the project or anything about video production? Anything? Oh, wait. By the way, hopefully you guys like the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Grey Cup champs. Yeah, so hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Again, I got my little I love video production sign that I show at the end of my class. Hopefully you guys are loving this, you're liking this, and we get back to normal. Rowan.
Mr. Close, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you get bonus marks if you take pictures from your camera roll?
Like if you use your phone?
Well, pictures that you have already taken that are in your camera roll.
Yes, if you've taken those pictures, I'll let you do that. Yes.
Okay.
And some other question that's been asked to, another one, is do they have to have a theme? Like, does it all have to be sunsets? No, you don't have to do that. They can be random. I'm not giving you guys any marks on the content of your film. Sorry, on the content of your pictures, your photos, but try to make sure that they're good quality and they're in focus. We want to have a professional. So yeah, if they're already on your roll and you want to do something, you went on a trip or something, you want to show some cool stuff, go ahead. That's fine. That's about it. Is there any other comments that you guys want to make? Anybody want to chime in and ask another question? If not, that's the end of the class. I'd like people to stay on if you don't have Premiere Pro on your computer for the reason that it's not fast enough, or you just can't get it on, you've tried and there's some problems. Please stay on and I'll talk to you guys individually in a minute. But other than that, sayonara, auf Wiedersehen, bye-bye. That'd be fantastic to see you guys on Tuesday, but that's it for our demo today. So good luck on your projects. Hang out here if you haven't put Premiere Pro on your computer, and we'll give you guys some alternative things that you guys can do. So that's it. Place out. I'm turning my camera off for a second, but I will chat to you guys individually if you guys need some help in Premiere Pro. Okay, I'm sticking around here for a bit. So just stay on if you want to talk about Premiere Pro installation on your computer. Okay, so Rowan and Sheldon, you guys have some issues with computer, getting a Premiere Pro on your computer. What I'm going to ask you guys to do is start a new project instead of doing this, and this is going to be done on your phone. You guys have to download Adobe Rush. Can I ask Rowan first, do you have Adobe Rush on your phone?
No, but I can download it.
Okay, so do you have an Apple or an Android?
I have an Apple.
Okay, that's easier for me to talk about because I have an Apple too. You're just going to go to the Apple Store and do a search for Adobe Rush, install it on your phone. And then what I'll do is I'll send you guys a video on Adobe Rush and what to do. So basically it's like editing on your phone. How about you, Sheldon? Do you have Adobe Rush on your phone?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Now, if you install it and there's any issues where it freezes or it just doesn't work, uninstall it and then go back and put it on again, because my grade 12s are having a lot of problems with it over the holiday. So I will send you guys a link on the Adobe Rush project, and it's really cool to use your phone to do it. It's like editing on the phone. What I'd like you guys to do is I'm going to give you guys an extra day to work on this because you have to figure out how to use the program first. When I did my demo, I showed Adobe Rush on the phone. Sorry, I showed my students my project. I got a new dog in the spring, and it was a puppy. So I filmed a lot of my dog and stuff like that. So try to pick a theme that you want to do. And if you don't have a theme, just random video is fine. But you're going to have some music in there. You're going to have a title, credits at the end, transitions, things like you would put in your Adobe Premiere projects. Is that okay with you guys?
Yep, that's good. I might make another account on my Mac because I just think that there's not enough space. I think that might be one of the reasons.
Okay, so try to troubleshoot that. If you can get it working, great. And how about you, Sheldon?
Yeah, it'll work.
Okay. So I'm going to give you guys until, so I see you Tuesday. I'll give you till Thursday's class. So try to get it in, Wednesday night. Send it to me, WeTransfer, if you can. The hardest thing about Adobe Rush is the export. So you'll have to figure out how you're going to send that in to me.
Okay.
Okay, so your assignment is to play around in Adobe Rush, practice, take some film with your camera, and put it all together in Adobe Rush. Put in all those things I asked, and then export it and send it in during using WeTransfer. I'll send you that link right away.
All right.
Sound good? Any other questions? And this is good because you guys will be ahead of next week's class, because that's what the other kids are going to do, is the Adobe Rush. Okay, well, that's it for me. If you guys want to stick around and chat, you're welcome to. If not, you guys can freely escape and enjoy the rest of the day. Okay, I'm just going to turn my camera and my mic off. Let me know if you guys need anything else. See you guys in a bit, eh?